Hi, I'm Stuart from Coffee Shop Mistakes, and you join me here in Northumberland in the lovely autumn sunshine. And today we're going to be talking about branding with McLeod of Zubru Design. Stay tuned right till the end for a really, really awkward handshake. It's an absolute belter. Today I'm going to be talking to this chap here about branding. So, who are you and what do you do and why should we listen to you?
Okay. My name is Alistair McLeod. I've been working in the design industry for like over 10 years now. But yeah, I'm working at Zubru Creative. I'm their lead designer. And we just do websites and online marketing and print marketing. And so yeah, when we've created branding for numerous companies.
Cool.
But anyway.
So yeah, how would you start thinking about branding? How do you even start?
I think ultimately you've got to ask yourself a few questions. Why are you setting up first and foremost? What's your core beliefs of this your business? You've got to think of branding as like a person, as a personality, because it is the face of your business. Work out what your core beliefs and background and incorporating.
So turning your business into like a person, and then like finding what their belief system is, and like what they like and what they don't like, and okay,
exactly. And ultimately, that person, that brand is you, and you got to be proud of it. You got to wear this as a badge, or a team up with, it's got to be something that's very likable. Yourself as a business, first and foremost.
Cool.
And then you really need to know what's going to bring in the money. I
mean, that's why you're there, I suppose. Eventually, that's the whole reason.
Well,
it's not just a lifestyle. It's got to bring money in.
It'd be great to just have a lifestyle and not really worry too much. But ultimately, if you're getting some, if you're renting out a nice coffee shop, you need to pay the rent. You've got to get the customers coming in, but why are they coming in, and why do you want them there?
Why would they want to be there?
But there's all sorts of things there, and obviously you can look into that yourself and how other areas to bring in the revenue, not just the coffee.
I mean, a lot of places have to pair it with something else, because I know from like speaking to a lot of coffee shop owners, it's like if you just sell coffee, it's almost unsustainable. Like just selling cups of coffee, it has to be kind of paired with something, and you get loads of exciting like pairings happening. Like we were talking before about like a shop that has a cat. Kind of you can stroke cats in there, and then that works quite well.
Yeah, but that's like such a bold and beautiful way of like bringing other people in. It's like and that's all in their branding as well. What do they call themselves?
Cat porcino or something.
Cat porcino. Nice, smooth. But like it's great, and it's got a talking factor, and it's got that quirky element to it. It's really important to look at your competition. This is just like a kind of a business rule anyway, and see what they're doing well, why are they quiet, what times of day, just pop in, be an observer, and then you can kind of like, well, they're really missing out on an opportunity here, and you can latch onto that opportunity, but still keep your core and beliefs solid throughout all of it. Looking at other people's branding and what's working for them. You can go on Pinterest and have a good play around and get.
You can lose hours and hours on Pinterest.
But it is great to just see what works. The thing that's going to be soul destroying for coffee shops is the branding has probably been done. If you've got to think, it's trying to find something original, especially in certain industries, is really hard. But
there's so many banners over the front of coffee beans and
but you can always carve it out to be your own, or you can in some way or another. Be innovative, bold, and daring.
Taking a bit more of a chance. I mean, anyone starts a business is taking a chance anyway. It's it's a huge thing. So. You sort of advocate like doing that a little bit with the branding as well, taking a little bit of
definitely. You want to choose a symbol that's like really eye-catching and it looks great on all platforms. And especially now.
So you're thinking about like social media and like and the formats that takes as well.
social media. You can buy these rubber stamps that just stamp on your cups, especially if you're doing takeaway coffees. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You can look at where you're going to use your branding. You can use it on T-shirts. You can use it on your menus, social media. If you've got like a nice solid symbol and it's kind of like, it's easily recognisable, that something like that's like, it's really.
Yeah, I mean, just with the stuff that I've done with the coffee shop mistakes, it's like you put it into like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and like there's so many different angles and shapes that need to fit with it. So it's trying to get something that like matches all of those and looks good in all of them, and all that sort of stuff. And that's kind of quite hard.
I tend to start off my design process with branding just black and white.
Yeah.
And then the best thing with that is you can always just reverse it.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's always a good place to start, especially with using symbols and things. And then
so keeping it like clean and
keep it clean. And black and white's just a good way to start, just because it gets less complicated.
Yeah.
And then you can bring in the colours later on.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when you're looking for something that's eye-catching, you start off with just black and white.
So is that like giving you the structure?
Yeah.
And then you've got like, you can mess around with the structure afterwards.
Then you can mess around with fonts, colours, and then you can look into your tone of voice. But that's going back to like how your brand is a personality, and it will grow, and it will grow over time. But,
I don't know anyone who thinks of their business the same once like when they've been trading for like 2 years. It's like they don't think of it the same way as well. And
you're going to have to tweak it here and there sometimes. You might find that actually you've been barking up the wrong tree, and you've been you're branding, and that's really a tough thing, especially if you've had a company that has been around for loads of years and got, you want to keep to your core, but you might want to tweak it slightly to kind of like,
stay up to date a bit more.
But talking about the modern age, I mean, nowadays, let your brand work for you. If you've got like a beautiful image and stuff, and you're using it on, you can do it on your coffee, you can do it in latte art.
Challenging sometimes.
But
simpler the better.
If you've got really fancy kind of nice a brand that you can put on the sign or whatnot, nowadays, you want it to be Instagrammable. You want people to be like, oh yeah, here we are, we're out there. It's free advertising, it's marketing. When we talk about branding, you really want to like incorporate obviously your user experience and the marketing element. It's like a kind of a trifecta. They all help each other out. I mean, if you've got really poor branding, like you've got, say it's called Sue's Coffee Shop or whatever, but she's got an incredible user experience because her coffee shop's fantastic. Because I mean, I'm making up Sue, by the way. This is a prime example of her. But she's got like a beautiful, cozy setting. She's a fantastic person, and she's got like, makes the best coffee.
So she's kind of battling uphill if the branding's not right.
But the branding's not right. At least she's got good user experience. It helps out the branding. But then she needs to market it all. So how's she going to get people, even if you have the best coffee, the best user experience, but you've got to get people in the coffee shop. So that's where the marketing comes in. And then the brand, it just all works together. And so if you've got good branding, then it really does help. I mean, I know plenty of coffee shops that have started up and they've had great branding and great marketing, but then no substance to back it up as well. So it's like, it works in all, if one of the things is missing. If one of the things is missing, it will help the other one out. But if you can get them all work together, then it's a winning combination.
There's a thing that I kind of talk about quite a lot in kind of training about kind of managing the expectations of the customer. And it's like that. If you can't deliver something, don't promise it. And and don't overdo it too much. Like, just stay within your means if you can. Don't try and like do the best coffee in the whole world if you can't do it, or you haven't got the kit to do it, or you haven't got the experience to do it. Be comfortable in your little setting. So if you set yourself up to be like a specialty coffee shop and you can't deliver that, that's kind of violates the expectations of the customer, because they'll look at that and say, like, this is what all the things that a specialty coffee shop should be, and then you get there and you're not delivering it, then that's not good either, and they're going to put customers off.
But you've got your hipster hangouts, which is what you just mentioned with specialist coffees and stuff. But But sometimes even that can be daunting for some people.
Oh yeah, there's loads, and a lot of people who kind of will not go into something that looks too hipstery because they're afraid that they're not going to know enough to be able to work there. And I think when hipster cafes have got it wrong, they put up a real barrier because it's like it's so kind of that way that it's like if you're not in the clique, you can't kind of be here.
It's like I'm not a vegan hippie or whatever. I won't go in this one. But
whereas like in the reality, like the people behind, like they're nice and they want people to be drawn in, but like sometimes they go about it the wrong way, and it's like they've gone so far down that route that it like actually puts barriers up against people, and then you'll never have anyone coming in and starting to get to that to being a customer.
And ultimately making that club and group and beautiful place that you want.
Yeah, it needs to be long term as well. It's like you want them to come back more than once, otherwise like you've only got like £2.50 out of them.
And then there's also the corporate stores, which are a bit more like your Starbucks, but they don't necessarily need to be, you can be in indie stores as well, independents, but that's kind of a bit of an all-round kind of coffee store, and your branding's kind of a bit more cleaner and welcoming to everyone. I think that's one of the things that they do quite well is they're kind of they're clean and they're approachable. Nobody's intimidated by it. Yeah, definitely.
Whereas I think some independents it can be a bit that way, a bit intimidating.
But
obviously there's a lot of like intelligent people who know what to do with branding, who've helped with the bigger chains to make that not happen.
Yeah, especially like Starbucks and Costa and all these ones. They've had loads of money and loads of thought going into exactly the target market they want. Because obviously going back to money, you don't want it to be too hipstery and too many students or whatnot. They don't spend much money on coffee. They just want to chill there and have a good time.
Rent the space.
Just rent the space, But if you've got business people rushing in and out, that brings us to another different type of coffee shop, which is like a kind of grab and go kind of style, which is, they don't really want people hanging around there too much. It's
not at all. Like
quickly grab it, go
straight in, straight out.
Yeah, and then you're, and you really work your branding onto your packaging, because then that's just free advertising when people are wandering around with the cup on there.
There's quite a big bit of a boom. I think like Costa and Starbucks has started to push like the drive-through stuff quite a lot, which is like the extreme of grab and go. It's like I'm not even getting out of my car.
Yeah,
like,
America's
like grab it.
An interesting place, because I went like years ago when they were doing like the drive-through coffees, and I was like,
they're big in America. Yeah,
they're massive. But now it's like it's the same as so many other areas. Like I remember going to New York and having sushi. I was like, why are we having sushi? And then it comes to England like a few years later on and whatnot. But it's crazy.
Yeah, those kind of drive-through places in America, they kind of get quite gimmicky as well, because you have like bikini-clad like girls in them as well. It's like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's they're fairly heavily followed Instagram feeds from those cafes. Like,
but that's
like it's just men going there, just getting their coffee from somebody in a bikini. And like
a Hooters coffee.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Nice.
But that's obviously like there's loads of drive-through.
Crazy world.
Yeah.
Once you've got like your core brand sorted out, and you've got your brand colours, and you've got your tone of speech, and you're gonna work out the customers that you want, then you've got so much direction. It's so much easier to make decisions down the line.
Yeah.
For like colour schemes or menus or certain house rules, even just kind of allowing maybe clubs, the parties of people to kind of use your space. But there's so many different types of coffee shops, and that's something that you kind of really want to tone in on quite early on, because you're a picture, a brand is your face, and that's a picture says 1,000 words, as they say.
Yeah.
And you want to look at that picture instantly and be like, right, that's a cozy, nice place I can have a coffee, or oh, that's a really edgy place which I can like.
So it kind of wants to be sort of self-evident, like as you're kind of approaching it.
Yeah.
So some of the bigger chains have like taken that to like an extreme. So like, and if you go into a McDonald's in Singapore or in like in Newcastle, or so you know exactly where you are, like just by being there.
Oh yeah, anywhere in the world, any part of
and people like Starbucks and Costa to a certain extent as well.
Yeah,
they do that, and you kind of know when you're sitting in one of those coffee shops.
Yeah.
Now some people, if you're an independent, a lot of customers kind of shy away from that like overly prescribed kind of branding thing. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's like a balance that needs to be kind of struck with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. We don't want to be copying brands word for word.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can really learn from what some of the big companies have done. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, if it's your business, you need to keep true to yourself and don't do what you think's like, oh, that's what everyone else is doing, I have to do it. Don't feel that's necessary.
Yeah. As soon as people start to do that for a different reason, and they kind of lose connection a little bit with the business, and it's like it then starts to break down in different ways. Maybe, I suppose it's like if you're doing anything just to make money, like it won't work. No, it has to be part of who you are, as I suppose. Yeah.
Any business, doesn't matter what it is, you go through ups and downs, and you need to have that love for the business for it to really break through any sorts of barriers. And
it's horrendous a lot of the time, because you think you're doing the best, and then like you get hammered for a couple of weeks and money doesn't come in, and you're like, oh my god, is this what I'm doing for the rest of my life? Is it going to work? And you have panic attacks all the time. And you speak to so many cafe owners, it's like they have a couple of weeks of bad weather, and it's like, oh my god, my whole life is ruined. And then 2 weeks later, they have like the busiest time. Yeah, get this massive roller coaster. But I think if you don't have that connection with it, like you wouldn't get through those bad times. Yeah, for sure. You really wouldn't.
And it's like I said before, your brand is like a badge. You've got to wear it proud, and you can do that. You can wear t-shirts or have your logos printed, and it's really really get a team going. It's like a little family. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. So if people are like, say somebody's got a reasonably successful cafe and they're looking to kind of expand to maybe 2 or 3, how do you avoid not looking like the chains, or like a really do you know what I mean? Because it's like when you're an individual cafe, you can have your own little kind of personality and quirkiness and things like that, and that's kind of cool. But like when it starts to get multiplied, is there anything that you've kind of come across where like people have kind of had that in mind, like not to appear too much like a chain, if they're going through that?
There's 2 things there, because something that if it's working for you, say you've got a quirkiness, you can obviously pass that on, and it's your thing, and there's no harm in looking like a chain if you're doing really well and you want to.
It's making money. It's
but you want that brand and that idea to kind of pass on, so that place is just as good as the other place, and then you're part of a family. But
I notice when people if they have a successful cafe, they can kind of do 2, and then you do 3, and it's like it's a whole new different ball game entirely, because it's like you can't control the 3 things like yourself. And like I feel like with branding and with the image and like how you present yourself, that's like another thing you have to control as well.
Well, it's your tone of voice, basically. Once you've got, that's the best thing. A brand is a personality, and you can then duplicate that personality around with the same color schemes, same tone of voice, similar imagery, the way you treat your customers,
without it actually being you.
Without being you, it is you, and it's an extended version of yourself. Especially as the business owner, you kind of. But you might be your alter ego even. It might be a better version of yourself.
You plus.
Exactly. And you can tweak it. You can tweak it along. Like, you can realise, actually, we've been bringing in the wrong type of customer here. We've got too many students bringing their guitars in.
Not actually making any money.
So
the kind of type of coffee shop is going to inform like the type of branding that you might do. So you've got like your takeaway stuff, and then you're like more hip street type cafe, coffee shop.
And that's obviously, then you can go deeper into the decor of the coffee shop as well. So for instance, if it's a beautiful place and it's like prestigious, you might have gold rims and stuff, and make things really nice, and it's fairly snooty, but like it's nice.
Straight out of Dubai lounge.
It's like edgy. Whereas if you've got like a surf shack, it's kind of like whatever, like cool. You got like nice, relaxed, bit of clutter, bit of vibe, cool music in the background, and then like your coffee shop's just stamped on there, like but like you as your staff and your team, it's your family, and for the customers, it's their family as well. And
like an extended family that they
and it's like a club that they're a part of. And if if you really play on that, you can do really well. So I think it's really important to show off your roots and your values in your brand. So say if what got you into wanting a coffee shop? What was the thing that like drove you to think, right, I'm gonna do this? I mean, was it watching so much Friends when you were younger? I mean, or was it the fact that you've got family background, like you're Italian or you're from Asia, and you've grown up with coffee around you, kind of thing? Bring that into your brand, shout it out. But I think it's really important.
It's good. People always want like story, and they want kind of connection a bit, and they want to feel like they have a little piece of you, as it were.
Definitely. And I think it's important for you as a business to have that piece of you in there, and then that's going to help you drive it.
Cool. Thank you very much. Pleasure as always. And I'll speak to you soon. Cool.